Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels, and thank you to our sponsors Cobra Garden and Mr Fothergill's Seeds. I'm out on the road again this week and I've come to North Derbyshire to catch up with floral designer Jonathan Moseley to have a look around his garden. Jonathan Moseley is one of the best known floral designers you get at all the shows and at all the events across the country. So I've come to look at his garden this week and see what he's up to. So hello, Jonathan.
Hi Martin, welcome to my garden.
Thank you very much and thank you for inviting me, and it's beautiful, but you're doing exactly as I thought you would be doing, cutting flowers, because
you know me.
Your garden is a beautiful garden, but it's all about flowers and foliage, isn't it really?
Absolutely, it's a working garden, Martin. It's my source of inspiration for my arrangements, and also like people who are growing a crop, I'm growing these flowers to use and do something creative with, so everything gets under the old clippers here. Nothing is left sacrosanct, it's all there to be used.
So this is allium, is this Christophii? This
Christophii, yeah.
Which is one of the later ones, isn't it?
It is, and I think that's the great thing about alliums. We can have them flowering right from the early part of springtime, so beginning of May, start off with allium purple sensation, runs right through, and Christophii is brilliant, and I love the differentiation in the sizes of these, from some enormous ones to some smaller ones, and then equally rewarding, of course, once those seed heads start to set, they look magnificent.
So if you want to use them as a cut flower, what is the ideal stage to cut them at? Do you get them before they fully open, or doesn't it matter?
Well, I think it depends what you want them for. If you want a wow factor and you want to make a real bold statement, then get them when they're fully open. But for something like this, where there's lots of little florets to still open out, I can watch that indoors and see its progression and watch it start to create that fully spherical shape there, and it will dry off inside as well. So it's nice to actually watch that change in nature. I think that's what flowers do. They don't always have to be at that point of perfection, which we can watch them develop.
Now, we work together at lots of shows, not this year obviously because they're all cancelled, but normally we work together a lot, and one of the things when you're doing your demos to the audience is you talk about conditioning the flowers. So what exactly is conditioning?
Yeah, conditioning is absolutely crucial, Martin. It's something that I harp on continuously about when I'm doing talks and demonstrations or my floral workshops and classes. If we don't condition, then we're not going to get the best out of our flowers. So basically conditioning them is cutting them from its parent source, from its plant, getting it immediately into a water source, and then placing it somewhere dark and cold, ideally for about 8 hours, preferably overnight. And what it's then doing, it's swelling all that stem, it's fully hydrated, and it's at its peak, it's at its best before we begin to arrange.
So you're basically just charging them up with water so that when you arrange them, they're not going to wilt?
Absolutely, you're giving them the best shot, because that water is crucial to their life cycle, and that period of rest and calm is vital as well, because it's giving them that moment to pause, to get fully ready for when you're going to handle them and do something creative with them.
What's the vase life of an allium? Does it last for quite a while?
Alliums are brilliant, and different ones last for different lengths of time. Something like Allium giganteum, pick that when it's first coming out, you're going to get 2 months out of that one. Allium red Mohican, Allium forelock, you'll get again about 6 weeks out of. The longest lasting is still to come, and that's an August flowering allium, which is Allium sparcephalon, otherwise known as Allium bullet, and that one you can get sometimes nearly 3 months out of if you pick it when it's at its tightest bud. That is a wonderful one to grow.
Great, lovely. Right, so can we go and have a wander around there?
Yeah, I'll get that in water.
So excited.
Let's go and have a wander.
Okay, go on, you lead the way.
Okay,
then,
well,
Jonathan.
let's head down here, Martin. Osteospermums, I know they're a commoner garden flower, but I love how they open out in the sunshine.
They're lovely,
they're
aren't
absolutely fantastic.
We saw some lovely ones a couple of weeks ago at Paula Routledge's garden,
Yes.
and they were just lovely in the sunshine.
Oh, just a happy flower, a cheery flower,
Now,
aren't they?
I'm intrigued though, because we're in North Derbyshire, where you can be quite cold, because you know
Yes.
we can see the Peak District in the
Yes,
in
we've got
on
the hills in the
horizon.
distance.
But you've got this lovely palm here.
Yeah, this Trachycarpus.
Yeah.
You know what, Martin? I have a love-hate relationship with this plant material, because this tree was here when we bought the house, and we've been here now 17 years. So I think it's seen a bit of history, this plant material. Would I have chosen to have this here? Possibly not.
Yeah.
But I commend it because I think it stood all the elements, and we've had some quite severe winters here during those 17 years, and it tolerates it. But I love it. It's just finished flowering now. And I love it when it has this coral-like form of the seed heads. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And then I leave them and they dry off, and you'll get these almost like bones, like gnarled forms, which look really interesting in arrangements. And these leaves, Martin, when they get a bit ragged and messy, I chop them off and clip away all those feathery, like wispy bits. And then you'll get some palm fans, which are great to use at Christmas time.
Right.
You can gild them and spray them and glitter them. So it does have its uses.
So everything literally does get used in your garden.
It gets used. You know what, Martin? I'm sexing this up a bit at the minute, though. I've got a little morning glory starting, and I'm hoping it's going to wrap itself around that trunk.
Yeah, good palm, hardy one, obviously.
Very hardy.
So sweet peas look good. Jonathan,
Sweet-
really healthy.
Sweet peas, Martin, are my absolute favourite. They are the crop that just keeps on giving and giving, and every flowery person should grow sweet peas because there's nothing like them for perfume indoors. And they're doing okay this year. I'm not somebody who sows in autumn. I sow in springtime and in the greenhouse, harden them off, plant them outside. And I'm a weekly feeder, like I'm sure most people are, and tomato food is what I feed them on. I know
same
people have
mix,
different formulas, but I use tomato food. But I have noticed this year, Martin, and I'm glad you're here in the garden because it's a question I would like to ask you, because it's a problem that I've not encountered before. Quite a number of the buds have formed, and I have snipped a lot of them away, but there's a few still on here, and they're not developing, they're not swelling into a petal and a flower. And let me have a look, there's a little one just down there that's done it. In fact, there's a couple. And can you see, Martin, they're just sort of drying off. Have a look.
I think, because mine is similar sort of height to yours, and we've had some nice early flush of flowers.
Yes.
But then we've had, I think it's temperature fluctuations, because we've had it really hot, got them going, and then we had some cool nights, we've had rain and wind, and then hot again like it is now. And I think this is temperature fluctuations, and it's just when the buds are forming, they don't respond to that up and down of the temperatures, and they don't form properly. I'm sure it's not a disease or anything, it is climatic conditions that's caused it.
Well, that's reassuring.
Hopefully, you know, plenty of water and feed, as you say, they'll just grow out of it, and you know, there's a lovely load of buds coming on there, so another week or so they're going to be amazing.
I'll be clipping again because I'm missing them.
Yeah.
I've picked about 6 enormous bunches so far, but I think they're just the hardest working flower in the garden, and they're just so easy, really, aren't they? If you just leave them, but you do have to keep watering them. They are greedy drinkers, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, they won't stand it dry. Otherwise, you get really short flower stems.
Short ones,
as well.
yes.
So this bed just here, it's sort of planted out as a border. But is it one of your cutting beds that you've just planted ornamentally?
It is, Martin. Yeah, these are 2 of the cutting beds that I use as crop sources for the flowers, and these are mainly perennials in here. There is a few odd annuals stuck in, but generally perennials growing in here. These are fantastic because raised beds I prefer to grow in for the cut flowers. It's easier for maintenance, easier for weeding, and here it's getting a good amount of sunlight, but there's a bit of dappled shade lower down. And there's loads of things in here that have already flowered, that have started to go over, but there's still lots to come on. And I've got a gorgeous crop of liatris coming there, and there's white and purple in there. They're going to be fantastic. Some dahlias just behind there following on. Some veronica just towards the front here. Galeenia.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? Yes.
I think it's a really underrated plant, and possibly like yourself, Martin, I discovered it a few years ago at a show that we've worked together on many times in the past, the RHS Harlow Carr Flower Show. And I know you're heavily involved with Harlow Carr as a garden consultant there. And I saw that growing there for the first time. And I bought some plants of it at the plant fair there. So I've had it for about 4 years now. And it was a couple of plants, and I've divided them. There's about 6 in there now. And it's a great thing because you can cut it, and you can see here I've cut off that primary main shoot, but then all the side shoots continue to flower, and it's almost like a modern day gypsophila. It gives a lovely little delicate wispy feel to a bouquet or an arrangement, and it's quite an unusual shaped flower when you actually look at it. It's almost like a lobelia in its shape, quite unique as a flower. There's nothing else I can think of that fills that purpose in a flower arrangement.
It is, isn't it? It's almost like a flower that somebody's put on an ironing board and flattened out, isn't it?
That's a great description. It really does look like it's been pressed,
but
like our school trousers used to be.
Exactly, yeah, that's great. But no, I mean, it's just nice that you've not just put them in rows, you've actually put the little cutting garden in as if it's a border in the garden. So you're getting that attractiveness there as well as the functionality of being able to cut your flowers.
Yeah, it gives it a bit more interest by doing it that way.
With most things, is it true the more you pick, the more flowers you'll get?
I think so, definitely. Herbaceous things, of course, some of them are just one-hit wonders, like the liatris. When it's flowered, when I pick that, it won't have a second crop of flower. But things like a Astrantia, keep picking them. Within about 6-8 weeks, you'll have more flowers continuing to come along. And something like the Catanache just down there, the little blue ones, which are almost like a helichrysum type flower, straw-like in its structure. The more you pick those, they'll go on right through until October time. A wonderful thing that keeps flowering and flowering.
So again, another bed here. I love this one here. You've got, this is a Veronicastrum, isn't it? Which is very similar. I love this mauve plume on there, and that's not fully open yet, but obviously a good cut flower as well.
A brilliant cut flower. Down there I've got some blue normal Veronica, but Veronica astrum, which is a strange thing really, because it's just so like a Veronica. Down there, Martin, I've got it at its full height. And you'll get one big elongated flower, but I decided to do the Chelsea chop on this, and I've never done it before. And what it's done, it's thrown off, which for me are a lot more useful, these smaller side shoots of flowers. So rather than having one big dramatic plume, you've got 6 or 7 from one stem. And it's something I'm certainly going to repeat in future years.
Yeah.
And it's just a case of nipping it once it's coming, and you can possibly see just down there where I've took the centre out.
Yeah, and you can
just
on there.
in these here where I've just nipped them down. And it's something you can do with quite a number of flowers. I've done it with phlox as well, just next door to it. Right. You can do it with asters. And what you'll get is smaller flowers, but for me as a florist, that's a lot more material to cut out.
Absolutely.
So it's more for my money.
It's good to see that, because we covered the Chelsea chop all back in May.
Yes.
And we cut some phlox down, which have bushed out, they're not flying, but it just proves it works. If
Does
anybody's
work.
done it, absolutely.
Yeah. You need to be selective, obviously, what you do it on, but it certainly does work.
That's good. And these are amazing, aren't they?
I love eryngiums.
Yeah,
they're
beautiful colour, isn't it?
They're just fantastic, and they're just starting to open out. In probably another week, the bees will just be surrounding this. They'll absolutely be a hum, a buzz of excitement. And that is the biggest joy I get from my cutting garden, Martin, that I share it with the pollinators. And there's nothing gladdens my heart more to see a plant filled with bee activity. I think it's absolutely wonderful to see. But look at that, isn't nature amazing?
Absolutely, yes. And one of the things is you're an ambassador, aren't you, for British flowers? So
yes.
You're obviously encouraging not just people to grow them in their garden, but for commercial growers to do flower crops.
Absolutely. And what we need to try and do is encourage more of our bigger growers, our larger scale growers, to move away from growing some of those more traditional flowers, which are lovely, but to give us more choice, more variety. And something like eryngiums, so easy to grow.
Yeah.
You can just stick them in, they're a perennial, you can divide them. They don't need a lot of care and attention. They're pretty disease resilient. So, more British growers growing things like Veronicastrum, normal Veronicas, Astrantias, eryngiums. I would really encourage them to do that. And that is why we're working so closely with our big growers, to make them think a little bit more out of the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's so much you can grow, isn't there? Unusual things as well.
Definitely.
So, yes. Right, let's
Come
move
on, let's have a little wander.
Keep cutting, keep snipping.
I know.
Oh, they look amazing, Jonathan. What a lovely selection you get there. So many different colours and textures all go beautifully well together.
Thank you.
Taught you well, haven't I?
Oh, everything I know, Martin. I've remembered every word.
Exactly. But of course, you wouldn't normally be doing this on a hot day, would you?
Definitely not, Martin. Normally I'd be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, picking before the heat of the sun, or waiting till it cools down 8, 9 o'clock at night. So never pick when the full sun's on it. We're doing it today because I want to share these flowers with you, but ideally it's not the right way to do it.
Well, I'll let you finish that. I'm going to have a wander around and look at the garden.
Carry on, enjoy it.
And then I'll catch up with you later to show us how to arrange them.
No snipping, Martin.
No, I won't. thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and thank you for telling all your friends about it and sharing it. Next time we're going to be back in Jonathan's garden having another look round, and he's going to arrange that bowl of beautiful flowers. See you then. Bye.